I'm just going to talk through where I'm headed with this. One of my biggest pet peeves about the internet is that, and content in general, is that everyone has to make it seem like they're an expert. They're either an expert or they're interviewing people who they think are experts. And then people in the comments get all mad and start arguing about who actually can be considered an expert and who can't. And everyone has a different definition of what that means. So, oh, you're only an expert if you've written a book on the topic. You're only an expert if you have a degree in the topic. You're only an expert if you're a scientist and you've studied the topic extensively and you have factual studies to back you up. You're only an expert if you've taught classes on the subject. You're only an expert if you can show proof that you have succeeded in a financial way in this area of study. On and on and on and on and on. On and on. I have issues with all of that, which is probably why even though I identify personally as a creative person, I haven't taken as much action in my life on my creative pursuits as I expected that I would have. And I haven't reached as many milestones as I want to. And I think a lot of that has to do with this internal struggle of like, well, who gets to succeed? Who gets to call themselves an expert? Who gets to be good at something? And I think that's a really important conversation for, people pursuing creativity in any form to have, because it stops a lot of us. And I know that it does because it has stopped me for years, probably a decade at this point, maybe over a decade at this point. And I know that this isn't something that I experience all on my own, because every other creative person that I've talked to, whether it's somebody who wants to make YouTube videos or someone who wants to write books or someone who's, making music, on and on and on, I can sit down and have the same exact conversation with them. And it all comes back to some version of imposter syndrome, some concern with how the public will perceive their art and by extension who they are, and fear around all of that, because what happens if it goes wrong? What happens if someone's perception of me is negative? What happens if there is no perception because no one is watching at all because my work wasn't good enough? Blah, 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 blah. And I think for me, I can really identify the fact that the internet at large has so much to do with all of this. At least this whole phenomenon becoming something much larger than it would have been, 15, 20 years ago. Just because now we have access to sharing our work with so many people, which is an amazing thing. But also with that access comes a lot of challenges and a lot of personal growth that has to be faced. And so I think I want the space to be a place for I can kind of talk my way through the things that I'm discovering as a creative person, and maybe start conversations with other creative people and, talk about inspiration and motivation and maybe hacks and things that I'm learning that have helped me, and things that I've learned that have not helped me. And, I guess, I don't know, that's where I'm starting. And we'll see what this turns into. But I have been craving a space where people actually communicate in a real, honest way. Because like I said at the beginning, I'm so over all of these experts spouting a bunch of cliche nonsense like it is factual, proven something that you cannot bypass, something that is going to be true across the board for every single creative person, because it's not how it works. This is not how it works. And I say that as someone who has tested a lot of things and someone who has seen a lot of people test a lot of things. Everyone is such an individual. And I mean, over the course of our lives, we change and we grow and we turn into new versions of ourselves because of all of our experiences and because of the time that we've lived and all the changes that happen because you're a human in the world. And so different tools and strategies and tactics are going to work and not work at different points of your life, even as the same person. So how can we expect that a video, a podcast, an article that's written by an expert can actually say something that is going to ring true for you 100% of the time? We can't. So I want this space to just be a place for experimentation. I want it to be a place for creative positivity. I want it to be a place where we can challenge the status quo and ask questions that other people are afraid to ask and help each other stay invested in our creative work. One other thing that I should say while I'm getting started here, I go on a lot of tangents, and I'm probably not going to stop doing that just because this is a YouTube video. So if you like tangents, stick around. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I want it to be a place where people can communicate in ways that are not accepted or celebrated in other places on the internet, where we can come together to champion each other, even though we speak about the honest and challenging aspects of doing creative work in this world. And I think I'm going to tackle that from a lot of different angles. So some of those angles you may be completely on board with, and some of them you might not like, and that's totally fine. But I hope that overall, every video that I put out is just something that keeps you moving forward in your creative journey, something that makes sure that you don't give up. Because I know there have been plenty of times, I'm 32, and I can't count how many times I have wanted to quit writing. I haven't even said that at this point in this video. By the way, my name is Gingy, also known as Carmen Kane if you like romance novels. I cannot count how many times I have almost given up on this very, very long journey. I'm sure I'll make a video at some point about what got me here. But there have been so many moments where I was like, I am not doing this anymore. What is the point? What if I fail? Oh crap, I've already failed and now here I am. How do I face continuing to do creative work when it didn't do what I wanted it to do? It didn't have the result that I wanted it to have. So many different reasons why I wanted to quit. And I think I've just gotten to a point in my 32 years of living where I'm like, look, time goes by so quickly. And if I give up on something that I feel is true to my soul because it's unrealistic, because I'm not getting some ego gratification that I want, because of so many different reasons, if I give up on that, number one, it's a boring life. And number two, that doesn't make me feel proud of myself. It doesn't make me feel excited to, pursue anything. Then what am I doing? And that'll be probably another video that I'll talk about, because this is part of the journey of being a creative person. Anyway, I think that is why I'm jumping onto YouTube right now. I think a lot of other social media platforms, they don't allow space for these kinds of conversations that can happen in long form video. So here I am, hopefully starting conversations, about creativity, about the challenges, about the moments where you succeed and why those successes happened, about where to find inspiration, how to continue working on something, and developing the confidence and the faith in your work and what you're putting out there. I want to talk about all of those things, and I want to do that with a community of people who are on the same journey as me. And I hope that we can all help each other move forward and hit the milestones that we want to hit. So yeah, I guess that's my non-fancy intro. Thanks for listening, and I hope you stick around.